on CBS 4 News. Our best shows, CBS 4, from daytime to prime time. Thank you for choosing CBS 4, South Florida's #1 most watched TV station. Shows you love, people you love to watch. And get ready because the best gets even better. This summer, the Emmy-winning Amazing Race, Big Brother and Miami Dolphins preseason football. Back and better than ever.
Bring it on, let's go.
CBS 4, every day, every night. Our best shows.
Yes, can I...
That's for charging me too much for my glasses.
Four Eyes. Find the brands, find the prices, lose the attitude.
That's our news for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 11 for CBS 4 News tonight. Now it's time for the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. Good night.
See you at 11.
Tonight, John Kerry makes a grand entrance into Boston to receive the Democratic presidential nomination. But Democrats know they have a problem. We'll tell you how John Edwards and others will deal with it tonight. A suicide bomber slaughters dozens in Iraq. U.S. Marines come under attack. Is or is not more help on the way? A product tampering scare. Poison turns up in baby food. We'll give you the latest. And it's the most important and unconventional delegation in Boston this week, the Hollywood delegation.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting tonight from the Democratic National Convention in Boston.
Good evening. John Kerry's name has now officially been placed in nomination, and later tonight the delegates here will confirm him as the Democratic candidate for President of the United States. Senator Kerry made a triumphant entry into Boston today by boat, then rallied his supporters. He will deliver his acceptance speech tomorrow. Tonight, his running mate, Senator John Edwards, will address the convention. More about all that coming up, but we begin tonight with the latest in the war that is certain to be a central issue, potentially a decisive issue for voters in November, Iraq. This was the most violent day in Iraq in a month. An Arabic television channel reports two Pakistani hostages were murdered by their captors, and there were many attacks on U.S. troops, Iraqi police, and civilians. At least one American soldier was killed. But CBS's Kimberly Dozier reports the worst attack in Bakuba killed at least 68 Iraqis.
More than 100 would-be recruits were lined up outside the Bakuba police station across from a bustling market when a suicide bomber roared in with a van packed with explosives. Among the dead, a busload of early morning commuters, instantly incinerated. It was the bloodiest attack since the handover of power to Iraqis exactly a month ago today, and a reminder that militants will strike at any target, no matter how many civilians are present, to try to make Iraq ungovernable. Bakuba is said to be one of the main nerve centers where Saddam loyalists direct their continuing campaign of violence throughout Iraq. They hit all across the country today. Armed insurgents charged U.S. Marine camps in Ramadi. The military said 2 service members were killed and 2 aircraft were forced to make emergency landings. Roadside bombs also killed 4 Iraqi policemen in Fallujah and 1 U.S. soldier in Tikrit. And a rocket apparently aimed at the Americans went astray in Baghdad, killing at least 2 Iraqi civilians. To the south, U.S. and Iraqi forces say they tracked some of the terrorists down, killing 35 insurgents and capturing 40 more in a joint raid. Iraqi officials promise more of the same and privately criticize the Americans for not hitting hard enough. Many ordinary Iraqis seem to agree. They want better security, even if some innocent people get killed in the process. Their reasoning is hundreds of innocent civilians are dying already. Kimberly Dozier, CBS News, Baghdad.
Secretary of State Colin Powell was near Iraq today in Saudi Arabia. He's looking again for more Saudi help to put together a military force from Muslim countries to help secure Iraq. Saudi Arabia confirmed it is reestablishing diplomatic relations with Iraq for the first time since Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait in 1990. Here in Boston today, the homecoming of a favorite son, Senator John Kerry, who's about to be formally nominated here in this arena as the Democratic candidate for president. CBS's Byron Pitts reports on the final mile, John Kerry's long journey.
Never before in American history has a candidate returned to his hometown to accept his party's nomination. John Kerry did it today in fine fashion to his favorite song by his favorite singer.
Bruce Springsteen had it right. No retreat, no surrender. We are taking this fight to the country, and we're going to win back our democracy and our future.
It was the end of a slow march to Boston through 6 battleground states, each stop providing a glimpse into the message Kerry hopes to deliver tomorrow night. Kerry's former Vietnam crewmates who helped rescue his campaign early on were at his side today as he crossed Boston Harbor, including Jim Raspin, the former Army Green Beret Navy Lieutenant Kerry rescued from an almost certain death in the Bayhap River 30 years ago. Kerry has used this band of brothers as a metaphor for America, the sons of poverty and privilege, side by side. One boat, Kerry at the helm. Despite this picture-perfect photo op for Senator Kerry and his boatmates, it's what's happening behind the scenes on land that symbolizes just how nasty this campaign is going to be.
They call him Flipper, Flipper.
Earlier today, Republicans released what they're calling a documentary accusing Kerry of flip-flopping on the war in Iraq.
That's not a flip-flop.
Historically, the opposing party lays low during convention week, but not this year. Democrats have cried foul and today released a counterattack.
We found the weapons of mass destruction.
Tonight, Senator Kerry will watch his running mate speech from his home here in Boston. Tomorrow night, it's his turn. Kerry's aides say the speech is ready, the candidate is ready. We will see. Dan?
Byron Pitts on the convention floor. Byron, thanks. Well, what can Senator Kerry and everyone else watching the convention expect to see and hear tonight? Our CBS News Chief White House correspondent John Roberts is over at the podium again for us. John, give us a preview.
Good evening, Dan. Much of the focus tonight will be on John Edwards' first nationally televised speech. But Democrats tonight want to draw an almost equal amount of attention to what may be their biggest challenge, closing the national security gap with President Bush.
In what Democrats are promoting is an unprecedented show of military political muscle, 10 former generals and admirals will appear in this video supporting John Kerry tonight, while General John Shalikashvili, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, makes the case in person.
I truly believe that he will make a better commander-in-chief, that he's the right choice right now.
It's a tough contest against a wartime White House that freely uses aircraft carriers and Iraq war veterans as a backdrop for speeches. Kerry can only challenge on a promise of performance and a proven record of military service.
And John is a fighter. He earned his medals the old-fashioned way.
Democrats have been careful this week to go neither too negative nor too liberal. In what even some Republicans call the most effective political speech they've ever seen, the convention's keynote speaker hit what could only be called a home run right into center field.
There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America.
They're playing to the party and the nation, but the real target is a thin slice of voters either undecided or who could change their mind. The majority, according to CBS News polls, say they're moderates. In 2000, most sided with George Bush's message of compassionate conservatism. The task for Kerry at this convention, convince them he is the moderate.
The toughest nights to look moderate for the Democratic Party was the first 2 nights, and they've already done a better job at that than they've done in the last 3 or 4 conventions.
And John Kerry may have found himself an opening to close that gap on national security. Republican strategists say that his quick embrace of the 9/11 Commission appears to have caught President Bush flat-footed. Dan?
John Roberts over at the podium. Thanks, John. CBS News primetime convention coverage tonight, including the address by Senator Edwards, begins at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 Central. Amid all the talk here of keeping Americans safe, there's word tonight of a food tampering scare in Southern California. Poison added to baby food. Federal investigators are on the case, and CBS's Sandra Hughes has late details.
The FBI has been investigating 2 cases involving Gerber baby food. Inside jars of banana yogurt like these, parents found threatening notes warning the jars had been contaminated. Today, authorities revealed small amounts of the poison ricin were found and have released this picture of a man they want to talk to.
He's transient as far as we know, and so he could be pretty much any place.
Ricin is deadly and easy to produce. It's made from ground-up castor beans, but as a terrorist weapon, its drawback is transport. Just breathing it or touching a small amount can prove fatal. On the right is a deadly dose of cyanide compared to the equivalent dose of ricin. Officials tell CBS News the baby food cases appear to be product tampering, not terrorism, and the amount of poison was too small to harm anyone. Still, since September 11th, law enforcement has investigated several threats involving ricin. Just this year, parts of the U.S. Capitol were evacuated when a small amount of ricin was found in Senator Bill Frist's mailroom. London police broke up a ring of al-Qaeda associates who were manufacturing ricin. The notes in the baby food jars also contained the name of a local police officer, and officials are not sure why he was named. One baby was taken to the hospital, but neither child became sick. Dan?
Sandra Hughes in our Los Angeles bureau. Thanks. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, he's about to get his party's nomination for vice president. So who is this John Edwards? And why does he say he wants the job? He will tell you in tonight's Inside Story. Then later, fleeing to Israel. Jews from another country are immigrating in record numbers. We'll give you a look at why. But first, CBS News honors fallen heroes. Kenny Hendrickson was reluctant about going to Iraq, but he later wrote home that he felt he was helping the people there. In civilian life, Hendrickson was a teacher and a computer technician. He liked spending time with his 18-year-old son, Trevor. Hendrickson was a newlywed. He married Renee just 4 days before leaving for Iraq.
The experts at Oral-B are on a mission to protect your teeth and gums with the Oral-B Professional Care 7000. Its 3D action removes more plaque than Sonicare Elite and even reverses gum disease. Oral-B Professional Care. Brush,